guys, how's it going? Mr. Extra from Team Extra, you already know. So I'm going to talk about the new Lightsworn support. I mean, I know I'm a little late to the party when it comes to like, talking about Lightsworn, but I've personally been very busy working and everything, so I haven't been able to upload as much lately and whatnot. But regardless, so we're going to jump into it. So I will tell you the pros and cons I think of the new Lightsworn support. I have a list up here that I've been kind of working with just to see what it can do, and we will touch base from there. Alright, so anyone who played Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously back in the day, or back when around Lightsworn format, knows that Lightsworn originally used to be pretty good. They would mix it with other stuff. It's another mill deck. It's like old tier limit, so to speak, guys. But these new Lightsworn cards, they're actually really good. This deck, it comes out, the new support for it comes out in April for Legacy Destruction for TCG. This deck will be a problem to anyone who's not really playing it. Granted, we'll probably still be in Fire format, but this deck does a lot of stuff. So I'll elaborate some of the things that I've noticed so far with testing it, explain like, my take on it, and then we can go from there, right? So first off, the deck plays the deck has to play one Judgment Dragon and one Punishment Dragon, mainly because, you want to end on Enlightenment Dragon plus your general board. Enlightenment Dragon is disgusting. What it essentially does is you can contact Fuse banishing your Judgment Dragon or your Punishment Dragon from your field and graveyard. So realistically, and from testing, it's easier to get Judgment Dragon out than Punishment Dragon, and then you just end up dumping the Punishment Dragon. Plus, so Enlightenment Dragon literally, let's see if I can get it pulled up. There you go. It says you can pay 2,000 life points, banish all other cards on the field and in the graveyards. This card is very oppressive. Based off of testing so far I've seen, it is very strong. This fire deck's, in my opinion, if this thing gets dropped out and they can't stop it, you're going to win. You win. You can break a whole board with it. And then it says during the end phase, send the top 4 cards of your deck to your graveyard. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card, you can add one of each banished Judgment Dragon and Punishment Dragon to your hand. Then you can special summon both, ignoring their summoning conditions. This card is disgusting. I don't care what you say. This card is very disgusting, very easy. You can turn one this pretty consistently because your Dragon of the Lightsworn, which is, I just call it Baby Judgment Dragon or Baby Dragon, he can literally search out one or the other when it goes to the graveyard. So Enlightenment Dragon's very, very oppressive and punishing, and it seems to be the best version for this deck so far is just playing the 4s. Don't play the 3s, because the 3s you kind of just break up on, and I don't see you doing rank 3 plays or anything wild like that. You can still get into all of your other stuff. Plus, Lightsworn and Horus is just as good as Tyr and Horus, because Horus just speeds up the process a little bit. So now let's go over Baby Dragon's effect. Let's get the pull up. There we go. So Dragon of Lightsworn, if you have a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card special summon, you can send a Lightsworn card from your deck to the graveyard. Except, obviously, Dragon of Lightsworn. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Dragon monster, 3,000 attack, 2,600 defense from your deck to your hand. That's Judgment Dragon or Punishment Dragon. Because that's the stats for them both, as you see right here. But outside of that, it's pretty standard. I play the Bestials and Horus. Horus is really good, like I said. Bestials is because, there's just tons of stuff. You can play this without the Bestials, but then your lineup for your extra deck is going to be a little bit different, right? But I want to go ahead and cover the rest of the Lightsworn cards while I'm talking about them, and then we'll go from there. So Wheeze is another really good one because you can place one other Lightsworn card from your hand on top of the deck, special this card from your hand, then send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, accept this, and then summon it. So realistically, you can use this, you can tuck or put one back, and yeah, special it, and then it'll mill some cards, and mill 2. And then when it gets sent to the graveyard, which typically when I'm going up building board, I'll end up using this to start my plays, or I will use this and then the Dragon of the Lightsworn, and then just go ahead and start putting stuff in the graveyard really early, and then just making your board, doing your sync 8, getting really far in there. But this card's amazing. This card fixes the whole deck. The Baby Dragon fixes the whole deck too. And you play your archers. I'm playing Havness in my build mainly because, I mean, during your turn, if they go to like Ash Blossom or Effect Bailor or anything like that to respond to you, you can always Havness, mill some cards. Worst case scenario, you can put like a generic card, do a fusion target. Plus, like, I don't have like a Starving Venom or anything here, but if you want to make like a generic fusion monster, you could pretty easily, realistically. But I mean, Havness is just there to just dump extra materials in graveyard to push your plays, right? You don't have to run it. I was just testing. It's not bad. It might come out, but the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. We have 11 near. We have a Chaos Space because we do run a lot of Light and Darks because we're running Bestials, so 11 near is always going to be relevant here. Safer to search out your can search out your Bestials, search out your Judgments, your Punishment Dragon, get into your other plays, or obviously search for your 11 near. And then let's talk about Lightsworn Aegis here. So essentially what this is just you flip it over, and it can omni-negate cards, target omni-negate cards on the field based off the number of Lightsworn monsters you have. So your end board, you typically have this and 2 or 1 to 2 Lightsworn monsters because it's typically this, and then this is your Lightsworn monster you still have. And you use it as your omni-negate from like evenly matched, other shit like that to help potentially just press through. So, but overall, and then if this thing gets milled to graveyard, it sets itself. It's basically like, it has the same general effect that Canopic for the horse cards do. In this build, I'm not playing the horse field spell yet, but I think it does come out in the Legacy of Destruction, so we can actually add this real quick while we're talking about this. So, just drop 2 of those in there, call it a day. I would even play this guy, to be completely honest, because, I mean, they're still bodies at the end of the day. You can do a lot of rank 8 plays, which if you're pushing more towards like the more rank 8 plays and then a little less synchro, you can do a lot here. So let's cover this girl right here. So this thing is crazy too. So this Minerva I feel like is better than the other one. Lightsworn monster you control cannot be banished by card effects. So basically you would put this out, stack a Lightsworn board, which I mean, you're really just putting her out, and then like maybe one other thing, and then you put on Lightment Dragon, so if you end up having to banish everything to slow down recursion for your opponent or wipe their field, this will protect your, it'll protect all your on-field Lightsworn monsters from the banish effect from your Enlightenment Dragon. And it says if this card is synchro summon, if this is synchro summon, you can send Lightsworn monsters with different types from your deck to your graveyard up to the number of Lightsworn monsters used for this material. And you can banish up to 4 Lightsworn monsters from your graveyard, send them into cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Now, realistically, there's going to be a lot of this, and then people are going to take this on tier and make it into a big pile deck with horse. It's coming, guys. Like, it's going to be annoying. And anyone who knows me, I don't like tier. I don't like graveyard decks. Well, I do like graveyard decks. I just don't like tier because they got power crept real bad. And they're about to get re-power crept again on these Lightsworn cards. So, look forward to it, unfortunately. But essentially, you would make this with your 2 Lightsworn monsters, and then you can use it to dump your Weeds in the graveyard, or your Dragon of Lightsworn, which will trigger both graveyard effects depending on how you want to do it. And ironically enough, Dragon of Lightsworn is not a tuner, so it kind of works out for you either way. It just helps you speed through. And then you can also run Omega with this, because you're going to make a lot of 8s in this deck, and it's going to be really easy. And then you can take these 8s, overlay into your Photon Lord with that or the horse. And then Zombie Vampire to push your last one board. Other than that, run the Minerva. Zoroboros, I tested him a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of him. This could honestly be access code, and it would be entirely fine, to be honest. But everything else for this like Lightsworn build is pretty standard. I mean, this list will probably look way different by the time Legacy of Destruction comes out in April. Also, what is it? You can play Gravity Collapse in this deck too. Tribute one of your things, one of your synchros, and then stop them from summoning the rest of the turn. I used to play Manadium. It's pretty good tech. When it hits, it hits. Usually when it hits, you win that round because a whole turn of not summoning, and then playing against Manadium, and they got bored down is pretty rough. But outside that, Lightsworn stuff's going to be a problem. But for all you who are going to play it, I mean, play with Horus, play it however you want. And look at that, pop-ups for Fillmore. They love it. But I don't have too much to cover for you guys right now. The videos will be more consistent though, since work's just been working me a lot. I've just been working a lot, guys, so I haven't been as free and available. And outside of that, should be getting a box of maize tomorrow. Potentially do a video for the opening for that, because it's been a while for that on the channel. And match videos from locals on Saturday. Now, there was a, I did have some videos last week, but I ended up fat fingering, like, something on my keyboard when I was doing something, and I ended up accidentally deleting all my files for that, so that's why I haven't had as much content for you all lately. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a different opinion on Lightsworn. You think it's not going to be anything when it comes out in Legacy Destruction, let me know. If you have an opinion on the build, or you have suggestions, changes, let me know in the comments below. Just, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get the ball rolling, guys. I mean, we're already into the new year. We're almost into February, and right now our current goal is 5,000 subs. We are like 3,600 and some change right now. I know we can get 5. Also, shout out to Dueling Guard as always for being a good sponsor, and Chain Link as well, not to mention Japan Imports. But outside of that, I hope you guys enjoy the content, and thanks for watching.